Hey, Johnny's Corner. We're going to switch it up today and we're going to do a little PlayStation reviews. So I was originally going to do PlayStation 1 only, but I decided that my friend has most of my PlayStation 1 and 2 games. So we're going to just do a bunch of random stuff I do have and some cool games that I grew up with that I loved and some newer games that I found over the years and maybe some recommendations for some games to play if you're bored. So we'll be doing some PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games. All right. So last time I did a game, I was talking about Silent Hill. I just wanted to show that one again. So Konami, tomato. But that was just a awesome adventure horror. Um, most of my favorite games to play on consoles are adventure horror games. I enjoy the feeling of being part of a story. It's like the coolest book you could ever read because you play and you interact in the game and in the story. And usually the stories are really obscure and scary and spooky and going around corners, whether it's zombies or ghosts and ghouls. And another one that was pretty cool that came out on PlayStation. This is a very old game. It's called Alone in the Dark: The New Nightmare. I'm not sure if this is a sequel or not, but yeah, it came with those black discs. But really cool adventure horror game. Pretty sure it's before um, Resident Evil. So it was pretty cool for its time, and you can play two different characters similar to Resident Evil. You can either be this girl, and she has like a little dog that helps her, and you can interact with this dog. It's pretty cool. I believe that's what it is. And then the guy, maybe they can both have guns. I'm not sure. I thought the guy had a gun. But, anyways, there is another game with a dog and a girl, and that's a super rare game. I forget what it's called. But that's a cool game we'll talk about one day. Um, but yeah, the story I'll tell you the back. Edward Carnby and Aline Cedric are about to face their worst nightmare. Out to avenge the murder of their friend, Carby and Aline arrive on the Shadow Island and discover that it is caught in the grip of an evil force. It's up to them to reclaim three ancient tablets before the ultimate terror is unleashed. Pretty cool. So you're going through this game. It's a lot of puzzles, stuff like that, and you got to find these tablets. And to tell you the truth, like these old games are like scare me just as much as a new game would. Just very eerie sounds, music, jump scares, ghouls and ghosts, and killer dogs and stuff like that. So demonic creatures attack you at every turn. Stunning but terrifying graphics pull you into suspense. Annihilate your enemies with an arsenal of supernatural weapons, which is different. Experience fear as either Edward Carnby or Lean Cedric, like I said. And yeah, and this one, I believe it came with a book, but my copy doesn't have a booklet, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, I recommend that one, Alone in the Dark, PlayStation 1. Like you can get a PlayStation like that online for like $60. I'm sure you could get it cheaper somewhere else if you try harder. But definitely fun. Or you can get a PlayStation 2 and you can play both PS1 games and PS2 games. Depends on the version. Yeah, so, or you can get, there's a PS3 version you can get that plays PS1 games as well. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, so Alone in the Dark. Move forward. Now we did Silent Hill. So I don't have my Silent Hill copies here at the moment, but I do have this Silent Hill collection, which is number 2 and number 3. Um, kind of upgraded the graphics a bit. Got didn't get the best reviews, but I enjoyed them. Really cool. It's like $30, and you can play both games instead of like if you want to buy the original 2 and 3, they're hundreds of dollars. My copy of number 1 was $200, for instance. So it's quite expensive, and that's Canadian cash. But yeah, Silent Hill 1 and 2. I haven't played 2 and 3 in a long time, so I'm definitely gonna play those soon, and I'm gonna do an in-depth review on those games because I hear Silent 3 I hardly played at all, like just like at a friend's house maybe once, but it looked insane. It looked really cool, so I'm looking forward to that. And 2, it's just been so long since I was a kid, right? But yeah, they got what's his name, Conehead or whatever they call him, Pyramid Head. And yeah, Silent Hill, I recommend all of those games. And there's one I played, The Room, Silent Hill 4 The Room. That one's really cool too. Moving along, moving along. So I did pick up all the Resident Evils, but I got them in these PS4 re-releases. So I remember I had Resident Evil 0, and it was on GameCube, but it was a really good game. So I got Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil 1 on here, I believe. Yeah, 2 games, 2 nightmares. So this is really cool. They update the graphics. Everything's it's kind of different stories, I believe, and I still have to jump into this because I haven't played them in a while. 0 I played, and 1 obviously I know really well. Played that a lot, but I'm sure it's much different in this remake or re-release. They update everything. But yeah, these should be really fun. I heard really good things. And then I got Resident Evil 2, and I started this, but I've just been so busy. But it looks awesome, so I'm looking forward to doing this one for sure. Yeah, Resident Evil 2, upgrade, completely reimagined, award-winning horror classic, and you can play the Leon campaign or the Claire campaign, and it's like new rebuilt Raccoon City. Okay, so that looks cool. And then Resident Evil 3, Bing Bang Boom, same thing, remastered. I haven't even opened this puppy. So Jill Valentine's in this one with Nemesis, and yeah, this looks awesome too. So I'm looking forward to having a good game session soon and playing some of these classics. Anything Resident Evil is great. Resident Evil 4 is at my friend's house, but that's an awesome one as well. Terrifying. Probably my favorite of the franchise, to tell you the truth. Resident Evil 4 just had everything for me. But, you know, to each his own. Also, I loved Resident Evil 7, Biohazard. So I picked up this gold edition. I figured, you know, buy the good ones now because later they'll be worth a lot more. But it's pretty damn intense. Like this game's awesome. It's terrifying. I'm only like a third into this game, but definitely got to get back on this. And yeah, really cool graphics, really well done. Definitely need to play it on 4K TV for sure. And I mean, I'm sure on PS5 it's going to be even more crazier than the new games that have come out. And I got to get a VR system because these VR systems are just awesome. So I'm really looking forward to playing that in virtual reality. Yeah, so Resident Evil, Biohazard, it's a good one. Oh, just a little one. PS2 Smuggler's Run. Remember that one? That was fun. Okay, some more adventure horror. No, these are moving on to PS2 now. I skipped it already, but we'll go back. So PlayStation 2, I got a couple good ones here. Cold Fear. Not a lot of people played this one. I don't remember it. I just researched later on in life and looked really good, and I wasn't wrong. It's awesome. It's got a really different feel. It's got kind of like a Thing feel, and not to mention the game The Thing is really good as well. But yeah, really like Cold Fear. You start off as like a mercenary or like a rescue team, but you're well trained. It's pretty cool because like in this game, you're on a boat, right? So the whole time stuff's flying around, it can hit you. You could fly off the boat, like it's very perilous, and I thought that was really cool. and you're this guy, survival guy, and he gets dropped off. Like a team's already been annihilated. He's separated from his team. He's all alone, and some weird stuff's going on. Whether it be a zombie or maybe alien infestation, you don't really know. But you go through this adventure horror game. You got to keep your bearings, like I said, and there's like a good amount of weapons and gameplay, and I thought the shooting was pretty cool, over the shoulder, third person, like Resident Evil, and definitely scary and eerie. So it just had all the classic things you want in adventure horror, just like Resident Evil and Silent Hill. So definitely check out Cold Fear. Dope little game. The Fatal Frame franchise. I have number 1 here. I recommend 1, 2, and 3. Um, Probably one of the most terrifying games I've ever played. I can't play it. It's just every time I play it, I'm the kind of guy I have to like turn the lights out, but sometimes it gets too scary. So I played this game, and you're a photographer, and it's based on a true story, so it also creeps me out. And I do believe in paranormal, so I don't like messing with it. But it's a survival, I'll tell you the back, survival horror game which immerses players in a world full of supernatural spirits and mind-numbing terror. Guided by her uncanny sixth sense and armed only with her antique camera, Miku sets out to solve the mystery of her brother's disappearance. As the story unfolds, she discovers ominous details about Himiro's mansion's troubled past. Um, the property and the surrounding area have a dark history involving grisly murders, an evil cult, and restless spirits. This very realistic survival horror game will shock you, and constant feeling of terror will keep you up at night. And yeah, and that they're telling the truth, man. Like, so you can take pictures, and that's how you like fight. That's your weapon. You fight the ghosts, so you have to capture them on film. And things are just walking around, and it's terrifying. I got about 10, 15 minutes into it. It's like, yeah, moving forward. Mario Kart, anyone? But yeah, it was a doozy. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely get all 3, and they're just keep going up in value. These things, like, so just pick up a copy before it's $100. And speaking of like super inflated games, like, man, I paid a lot of money for these because I bought them recently because I just had to have these games. Obscure. Okay, so Obscure is pretty much like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Faculty, but it's like that movie. It's like the 90s or the 2000s more, and American Pie and like stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, Sum 41 and a band called Span. They do the soundtrack for this, so it's like. So it's got all that cheese. For some reason, like, there's 4 characters, and they're all named like after South Park characters. It's like Ken and whatever their names are, Stan, and I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe I'm talking crap here. But the cool thing about this adventure horror, and it's really cool, is that it's a 2-player cooperative adventure horror, which don't really exist, especially back in the PlayStation 2 era. So I can't wait to play this with a friend. I got to find a real nerdy friend to play this with. But yeah, it's awesome. It starts off in a gym like the faculty, and like the faculty's all been taken over by aliens or some shit, or you find out like there's been horrible testings going on in the school, and yeah, like the deeper they go down into the school, somehow they're stuck in there. The more obscure it gets, and I'll just read the back because that's always fun. So, what haunts the halls of Leafmore High? Staying late after class takes on a whole new meaning in the first action game created in the style of teen horror movies. So, pretty much what I said. Tortured screams echo through Leafmore High's deserted corridors. Faceless creatures lurk in the shadows. 5 teenagers set out to bring light into the darkness. and experience a night that will scar their souls forever. Ooh, yeah. So yeah, that one is like $200 online. Be careful. So the best thing you can do is try and go to maybe a yard sale or somewhere, and you know, even if they want like 200, be like, come on, man, that's crazy. Offer them $50 because just getting out of hand how much these games are costing. But if you're like me, you like to collect and like to hold your stuff. Like eventually, we're not gonna own anything, so it's nice to have some things that are yours. All right, so Obscure 1. Now, I've never played Obscure 2, so Obscure the Aftermath, but I heard it's pretty good as well. And it still costs a pretty penny, like 30 to $60 for this. So, maybe even $90, depends where you go. So, these are definitely rare. They didn't make so many copies, right? So, when they don't do too well, they're not going to remake them like Resident Evil and Silent Hill. They'll have greatest hits, copies, versions, re-releases, special editions, because it's just a big want for them, right? So, and eventually they'll even bring out new, like they did, new releases. So there's always going to be that. But games like this, they just didn't make the numbers, so they become more like there's other ones I'll get into later. So I want to save. I have a video. I'll do like the top 5 most expensive rare adventure horror films, and that'll be a good video. All right, so we're done Obscure. So we're pretty good on the adventure horror. You know, PS3 is always good. I think PS3 was one of the best systems of all time for sure. Just had a ton of classic hits. You know, like whether it's Red Dead Redemption, The Last of Us, you know, stuff like that. The Elder Scrolls on computer as well, and just had so many good hits. I'm gonna go through a couple ones that I love and recommend. Yeah, so like Red Dead Redemption, definitely if you liked Grand Theft Auto, that's a nice version of that. Same company, Rockstar. But I'm gonna show you a couple ones I love. Okay, so Skyrim. When it came out, I thought it was Skyrim. Anyways, this was like such a fun adventure game. I played Oblivion before on my computer. Wasn't as good on PS3, the Oblivion version, but on computer, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Oblivion was good. But I think Skyrim really just hit the mark. 10 out of 10. You can get lost in this game forever. It's a whole. This world's better than our world. I mean, like, maybe not, but just such a cool game. Came with this crazy map, like nerd alert. I'm not gonna pull out the whole thing, but it's like a huge poster. It's made out of some kind of really cool material. Like it's a thick material, but yeah, just you know, Bethsaida, Bethesda, and whatever your company is, it kicks ass. And yeah, I'll just read the back. Well, first I'll just tell you what I think about it. So, Skyrim, it's a first-person adventure RPG. It's a massive world, but it's single player, which I find is better because the game developers can put way more into it and way more storyline and heart. It takes longer, but it's great. So you can be evil, good, bad, archer, wizard, sorceress. You know, you can be an elf, you can be a dwarf, human, many different species. The world of Skyrim is vast and full of different races and people and tribes and stuff. You can be part of the Thieves Guild. You can do many things. The thing I love about this game is like it doesn't really matter where you go. You're gonna find like some kind of quest, and that was always fun. There's dragons, you name it, and the graphics are amazing for when it came out. So, Epic Fantasy Reborn, the next chapter in the Elder Scrolls saga arrives from Bethesda Studios. Someone tell me how to pronounce that. Makers of the 2006 2008 games of the year, probably Oblivion and Elder Scrolls. bringing to life. Skyrim reimagines and revolutionizes the open world fantasy epic, bringing to life a complete virtual world open for you to explore any way you choose. The legendary freedom of choice, storytelling, and adventure of the Elder Scrolls is realized like never before. Dragons long lost to the passages of the Elder Scrolls have returned to Tamriel, and the future of the Empire hangs in the balance. As Dragonborn, you prophesies hero born with the power of the voice. Kind of like Dune. Original Dune. New Dune, meh. Cash grab. Should have been one movie. You're the only one who can stand amongst them. So yeah, Skyrim. If you've never played an RPG and you want to play an RPG, it doesn't get much better than this. I mean, we got classics like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VII, you name it. Yeah, great. But this is just made at a time where games really knew what they're doing. So they put a lot into this, and Skyrim. Elder Scrolls 4, I believe. Yeah. Great one. All right. Next one, I got this. Actually, I picked this up when I was down in Colombia and got a good deal on it. And it's Outlast. I think this was just an online game at first, but this is Outlast 2, and Outlast Whistleblower. So I think Whistleblower is the prelude. Yeah, the prelude to Outlast. And then Outlast 2 is the last one. Okay, remember I was saying that game was terrifying? Fatal Frame? Well, this is up there with that for sure. Like, absolutely terrifying. I just can't play it. Like, I'm like a wimp. I'll get through it one day in my life, but it's hard, man. You can't play too many of these games in a row, so you got to take breaks. But, man, all three of them, crazy story, really scary atmosphere, you name it. Just terrifying. If you played Evil Within, that was pretty good too, but this just blows it out of the water. So yeah, the Outland series. I wish I could read something from it, but there's not much because it was an online game. So, but this is a good copy. Now I'll always have it forever, which is great. So glad to have that. I think I'll do just one more. So, Alien Isolation. Oh my God, Nostromo edition. I don't know the difference. There's another version, I believe, before this, but had to have this. I'm a huge Alien fan, obviously, and you know, this is probably one of the best games I've ever played in my life. To tell you the truth, like just being on this spaceship and hearing the sounds, and man, it's like heaven to me. It's a weird kind of heaven, but it really is. Like, and it's absolutely terrifying. Like, the scariest thing ever. It's one like all those games I'm showing for a reason. All three of them. I mean, not Skyrim, but Obscure. Or no, what was the one? Fatal Frame. Fatal Frame, the Outlast Trinity, and Alien Isolation. They're all equally terrifying. Okay? And you can play as Alan Ripley, Dallas, or Parker in this other version called Crew Expendable. And I haven't played that version yet because I'm such a weirdo. I'm saving it for a rainy day. But I'll be excited when I play that. I'll definitely be Ripley. But Parker, that could be good too. But yeah, just a terrifying game. So this game, you're like Ripley's daughter, long lost daughter or something. I don't know. But you're on this mission and you wake up on this Nostromo, and you're by yourself. There are some like android guys, but you don't really pay mind to them at that time. But yeah, so you're running around on this ship, and all of a sudden, like things are breaking down, and it's very ominous feeling, and you'll see like a tail go by, and you'll be like, "What the heck?" So the alien is on the ship, and it's hunting you down. So you need to find different places to hide, and you have like your little beep thing that shows it if it's close, beep 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 beep, your little radar, and it can kill you like so many different ways. It has it's AI technology, this thing, so it's like has different like thousands of different patterns and things it does or how it reacts. So first time I played it, it really didn't mess with me too much. But now when I play, it's like coming killing me all the time. So you never know what you're gonna get. And then later on, there's these you have to fight with these androids and all this stuff, and it's just wicked game. Tons of gameplay. You'll have hours and hours to play, and it's not a frustrating game, and it's not an easy game, but it's not a hard game. It's just a beautiful game, like Skyrim, and the way they did this, they definitely huge fans of the franchise. They're not just trying to. This is the best Alien game ever made. There's been so many Alien games that were made, and Alien vs Predator was pretty good, but nothing beats this. Definitely, in my opinion. So yeah, check out that game. PS3, Alien Isolation, and there's a version for PS4 as well. So you can play on both, and the graphics are much better. Anything that I missed? No, that's it. All right, that's it. That's it for PlayStation games because I have to grab a bunch from my friend. He has them all. But yeah, check out some of those games. I'll just go through a few more. I'll go over them again that I recommend. So definitely any Resident Evil game, well, there is a couple different Resident Evil games. There's about 27 of them, but you can't go wrong with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would stay away from either 5 or 6. I don't think I've played 5 too much, but yeah, 5 and 6, I'd stay away from those. And 7 and 8 are great. And then every Silent Hill game I like personally. Check out this game I told you about, Alone in the Dark, PlayStation 1. Again, Alien Isolation, Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, Outlast, 1, 2, or 3. Play any of them. You can get them on PlayStation Plus, I believe, for free. Fatal Frame games, 1, 2, and 3. Excellent games. Gotta check them out. Cold Fear, underrated game. And the Obscure games. Awesome. All right. Till next time, have a good one. See you later, alligator. And a wild crocodile.